Welcome back to another episode of the Lions Roar podcast. Here at the Lions Roar podcast, we spend our time talking about all things Calvary Baptist Academy and Hidden Treasures Preschool. We're excited that you've joined us today. We have some special guests with us. We're going to meet with some of our seniors, some of our students from Calvary Baptist Academy. We just celebrated last week or so our homecoming. We had Spirit Week. It's a pretty busy week around campus, lots of activity from elementary all the way through the high school. There was door decorating, the wall decorating. There was the competition between classes, and in the high school, the seniors won. That's awesome. I am one of the senior class sponsors, and that's 2 years in a row now that the Spirit banner stays with the seniors. So I'm proud of that. And we had, of course, our homecoming court. Homecoming court at Calvary is a little bit different. There's some similarities, of course, to homecomings at public school or other places where we, of course, have students nominate their classmates to be representatives on the court from the 9th through the 12th grade. And then we, of course, have a homecoming king and queen. And we're looking for students that, of course, nobody's perfect, but students that represent well what we are valuing at Calvary Baptist Academy. So we want students that have school spirit, of course. They're excited about their school. Students who are working hard academically. Doesn't mean they're a straight A student, but that they take that part of their schooling seriously and work at it. And also someone who exemplifies Christ-likeness and is someone who desires at least to do the right thing. Doesn't mean they always do it perfectly, but that's the striving that they're working towards is following the Lord in that way. And so I'm thankful at Calvary we have lots of students who would fit that bill. And when it comes to our senior class, we have our senior class representatives as well as our candidates for Homecoming King and Queen. You get to meet some of them here today. So without further ado here, on the couch I have three of those students, and a little bit later we'll meet another two of them. But to my right, we have, first of all, Miss Hutton, and so we're excited for you, Gracie, and Gracie's here with us. And then we have Chloe Williams, and Chloe is a student that has been with us for her high school years. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. And then next to me to my left is Braden Schwartzkopf. And so we're going to get a chance to meet each of these students, find out kind of how they came to Calvary, some of the things that they appreciate about the school, and just some different facts about each of them. So we're going to start with you, Gracie, down there. Okay. Gracie, tell us a little bit about your family and how you came to be a student at Calvary Baptist Academy.
So it all started with my grandfather had a stroke, and we moved in to help them, and then we moved out, and we were looking for places to go, and nothing downstate opened up, and then we found a house.
So where were you living at that time?
We were living in Detroit.
Okay.
Outside of Detroit. And so nothing was opening up, and then a house popped up in Midland, and we found that house. We got that house all in 7 days, and then we decided to enroll into Calvary Baptist Academy.
What grade were you in, Gracie, when your family moved?
I was just going into 9th grade.
All right. So you came in for your high school years. So you've
Yes.
been here for high school. And your brother graduated ahead of you a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And your mom teaches first grade
Yes.
at Calvary Baptist Academy now. So that's been a big blessing that your family's come to the school and that your mom's a great first grade teacher. In fact, she was on the podcast as Teacher of the Year. And so that's pretty cool, our elementary school Teacher of the Year. So, Gracie, you came in as a 9th grader. Where were you going to school? What did school look like for you before 9th grade?
I went to a lot of co-ops. I was homeschooled, so I went to public co-ops, and I went to also Christian co-ops. So it was a lot of just bouncing around.
Yeah, what was the biggest difference jumping into CBA from your previous kind of co-op?
Definitely I'm around a lot more people that know about Christ and have heard the gospel a lot more. It's not less just going through school and having the blinders on and keeping to myself, because I usually was that kid, but here I'm able to talk about everybody, and I'm able to talk about Christ. So
Cool. Chloe, tell us about you. When did you come to Calvary, and how did that happen?
Yeah, sort of similar to Gracie. I came my freshman year, so I've been here for 4 years now. And I lived in Illinois before. And
Illinois?
Illinois. And we moved here because my dad became a head pastor. And so, yeah, I've been here for 4 years now.
Yeah, and you had two brothers ahead of you.
Yeah.
And they both are graduates of CBA now.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have alumni in your family. So where were you at school before? I think you were at a Christian school in Illinois.
Yeah, I was at a Christian school in Illinois. I moved actually halfway through my 8th grade year, so I was homeschooled for half my 8th grade year
Yep.
and toured Calvary, and then my freshman year enrolled.
Okay, very good. What would you say was coming from a different Christian school in Illinois, not the small period of time in the transition, but in the Christian school you were in, was it very similar to Calvary? Were there some differences? What were the key things that was a change for you transferring from one school to the next?
I think there was a big academic switch from at the school in Illinois. Just the curriculum was different and like a lot bigger pressures at Calvary, but like a good way, like of like prioritizing your academics was a
It
switch.
was a little more rigor, a little more challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that in some ways. That's no fun when you're making a transition,
No.
but we do pride ourselves on having a rigorous academic offering, not just going through the motions, but really educating kids. And I think our scores continue to show that, in as well as enrollments in university and how kids do there. Braden, how about you? You've been around a little bit longer. So
Yeah.
you came to Calvary as a preschooler?
Yeah, so I started in K4, and I've been here ever since.
K4. Who is your K4 teacher?
Mrs. Romig.
Mrs. Romig. All right. She's still around. She's
Yeah.
still subbing and helping out down there. So that's awesome. And so you really can't talk a lot about what school was like before K4, really.
Yeah, no.
So you've been in Calvary your whole life. What would you say, having grown up and always gone to Calvary, gone to the same school, what would you say are some of the highlights as you look back now as a senior, thinking K4, elementary, middle school, and now in
Yeah.
high school? What are some of the highlights for you?
I mean, one of the best ones was probably just recess. Like
Nice.
if I'm being real, in the wintertime, I really enjoyed, all the sledding that we did and sometimes snowball fights, So that's definitely
The
one of-
famous tower.
Oh yeah, the big tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my claim to fame is I helped build the big tower. Yeah.
Alright.
Oh yeah, I was there.
One of my favorite high school memories is probably the 8th grade trip and choir drama tour.
Nice.
Just being out of school with all your school friends creates a different. It makes the time different.
Different atmosphere.
Yeah, different atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it's nice because you get to know them outside of school, and then you get to just hang out with all your people.
Yeah, 8th grade trip. So that was to the Creation Museum.
Yeah.
And the Ark. And did you go to the aquarium?
Yeah, we did.
And I think did you go like to like a what do they call it? Were you trampoline
Yeah.
park or something
Yeah,
like
we
that?
did. Yeah.
Were you your class do that?
Yeah.
Cool. What was the highlight of the 8th grade trip, would you say?
Probably the trampoline park.
All right.
Yeah, a bunch of the guys got together and we played 3-on-3 basketball.
Nice.
We were all dunking on each other, which was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. So
Yeah. You guys, all three of you are athletes. You all play different sports at Calvary. Braden, I know that you play basketball. That's your favorite sport.
oh yeah.
And I know you're looking to play collegiately. And tell us a little bit about that. What's your plans after high school here?
Yeah, so as you said, next year I plan on attending Spring Arbor University. I'm on scholarship there for basketball and academics. I plan on majoring in elementary education,
Oh, that's cool.
and I'm still deciding on what I want to minor in. It's between coaching or physical education.
Okay. Yeah, and I hear you're gonna be in a choir.
Yeah, yeah. So I last week I actually went up there for a scholarship tryout, and thankfully I was blessed to receive it. And I'm really excited for the choir because we travel all over the Midwest.
Sure.
So it's going to be basically a bigger version of choir drama tour.
There you go. Yeah. And Chloe, I know you're playing basketball as well, and both of you ladies are. But I know that, Chloe, one of the things you're looking at is maybe playing college basketball somewhere. You got a couple different things you're looking at. Tell us a little bit about that. And even, I know you may not know for sure now, but even the decision-making process, what's that like for a senior as you're finishing a school year, but making decisions about college and what's the next steps? And what's going on there for you?
Yeah, I think I still have a lot of decisions like that I have to make in the next few weeks, but definitely still looking at college basketball as an option and just like focusing on the season I'm in right now is a big part of it. And taking the opportunities I have, and I know that like God will open the doors when it comes.
Yeah.
So I think like I have opportunities. I've been talking to coaches, so I'm thankful for those.
Yeah. No, it's a big decision where you go to college, and there's lots of factors for you guys as seniors. Obviously, what do I want to study and what's God leading me to do will help determine where you go. And then you got to pay for it. So there's the expense of it. And then those extra things you hope to do. Maybe I want to be in a choir. Maybe I want to play basketball or be in fine arts. And what opportunities are there available to do some of those things, and prioritizing what's most important. Is it the finances? Is it the extracurriculars? Is it the major? And, figuring that all out. And Christian college versus secular universities, and staying in state, there's some savings. So yeah, it's a big decision, big conversations with mom and dad, and of course praying about it. Gracie, tell us a little bit about your plans and what you know so far for post high school.
Yes, I plan to go to get my cosmetology license for a year and then go to BJU and get my business degree.
Bob Jones University. I've heard of it. So,
yes.
For those that don't know, I'm a graduate, so that's why my kids are there and such. So definitely, it's warmer than here.
It is.
Most of the time.
Yes.
Though this year, I don't know. It's been a little crazy down there.
It has been cold.
Snow and ice and whatnot. Spring Arbor, unfortunately.
It's cold.
Take it
I
away
think
from
it's
it.
colder than here.
Uh-huh.
Because they're more west, I think, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. So,
That's a lake effect.
When you guys think of athletics, we talk about that. What are some lessons you've learned or things you've appreciated about the sports program at Calvary? What is it that you've learned through those years? Chloe, what would you say is something that you've picked up?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm honored to have my coaches that I've been able to have, like Pastor Mark, Mrs. Dickerson, have been like great coaches. They lead us really great. And I think the biggest thing I've learned is that sports are a great way to glorify God, and like that's what they're for. We're doing even a devotion as a team right now in basketball called Audience of One, and we've been going through it. It's been really good, and like using your sport to glorify God. And I think both of my coaches have showed that like you should use those to glorify God. So
yeah, athletics is so much in the culture today about us and about putting yourself out there, getting yourself on a poster, or even with nowadays, MHSA just opened up NIL options for high school students, so you can now make money, which I'm not against, like the capitalism, and that's not the point here. But the point is, so much of athletics is about me, and putting myself out there, and what I can get out of it, and what people think of me. And so remembering and being reminded that athletics is a way that we can use the gifts God's given us to glorify Him, and even use it as an avenue for the gospel, right? Whether that's upward basketball or sports camps, and using athletics to draw people in, and then use that platform to speak about Christ. How about you, Gracie? What have you appreciated about being involved in athletics? I know you're in volleyball and basketball, and you're going to play soccer, like the trifecta right there.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your perspective.
Definitely going off of what Chloe is saying, that definitely learning this year, it's mostly that God gives me the ability to play. It's not my own ability. And just going through the AO1 book and just learning the personal aspects of God and what He wants from us is just awesome. And I really enjoy that.
Yeah. How about you, Braden? Athletics, I know, is a big deal to you. So tell me a little bit about what are the things you've learned from the coaches and from just the way CBA handles athletics.
Yeah, so, it's almost the same as what the girl said. So before every practice, all the guys recite a verse, and it's talking about how we need to focus on not being selfish. We're all a team. We are all one brotherhood. And, even though the verse can get a little tiring after you say it thousands of times during practice, the words don't change and the meaning doesn't change.
Yeah.
And so one thing that Coach Fee, Coach Small, and my dad have all taught me is that we're together. It's not me, it's a team. So they've definitely helped me grow in that area.
Yeah, that's great. You know, I went to Calvary and played sports. I came from public school into Calvary, and so I had played football, and obviously we don't have football, so I started playing soccer. When I started playing soccer, I was not like thrilled about transitioning from football to soccer. In fact, I think I had more slide tackles in one game than the team had the whole season because everybody's afraid of contact, and I was looking for it. And just a different way of seeing it. But athletics were definitely different from where I had come from as far as the whole aspect of glorifying God, the whole aspect of, commitment to, I was taught commitment to the team, and the team's greater than yourself. But then even beyond all that, God is greater than all of us, and he's the source of it. And that was different. That was just a new concept to think about sports as an opportunity to worship and to glorify God and to use sports as a platform in that way. So, yeah, I definitely appreciated that. And Coach V was my coach, my first coach. Yeah. And while he's retired, he still seems to be around all the time, right? And so we're just thankful for faithful coaches like that. And now Coach Small and just all the coaches that have really poured into your lives as students. You mentioned already academics a little bit, and you mentioned a change from your previous school and how it was a little more rigorous. What would you say if you were describing to someone else, Gracie, how would you describe the academic atmosphere at Calvary Baptist Academy and for you as a high school student in particular?
Definitely we work on our academics. We strive to do well in our academics. We learn a lot. Just do your best, honestly. That's my...
What would you say were some of the more challenging classes for you through those years?
Definitely English.
English? So, yeah? Okay.
Don't like English.
Well, I'm with you. I told you that.
The rules always change.
That's right. You learn all the rules for grammar, and then all the exceptions are on the test. It's kind of like spelling, the same thing. Like you master all the spelling rules, and then all the words on the vocab list are all like the weird exceptions to it. Like, well, what's the point of the rules, right? I'll stick to math.
Exactly.
But, and then others, though, math isn't always so easy either. So what would you say, Chloe? You've already mentioned the fact that it was more rigorous. What would you say were the highlights or maybe lowlights or the challenges or ups and downs? What did you appreciate about the academic portion while you were at CBA?
Yeah, I think coming in, I never even knew what like an SAT or like a PSAT was, and because they never talked about it at my old school. So coming in and hearing about like there's a whole class dedicated to like working on that test score, I was like, what is that? But yeah, there's definitely a high standard for academics, and I think as students we learn to prioritize different things. So it's a good thing for us to be able to like use that skill because it's a life skill. So yeah, I think it's a high standard for academics.
So 9th through 12th, hardest grade.
Ooh.
Each one has their own challenges, I feel like.
I think freshman year for me was the hardest because it was a switch.
So what would you say, Braden, hardest year?
I mean, chemistry was very difficult last year.
Okay.
However,
that's a class, but that makes part of it.
I'd probably say 10th grade with speech and logic.
Yeah.
I did not learn logic that well, so it was very challenging for me.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I hear that 10th grade oftentimes is kind of the mountaintop, but 11th grade, depending on your classes, like if you have chemistry or even moving on to physics or upper math or some of those, it can still be climbing that mountain. But 10th grade, definitely logic. I know some people love it, some people hate it, some people love to hate it, and how that goes. I taught logic for a long time, so it's got a special place in my heart. And I think it's some of those harder classes you'll find when you get off into college and into life are the ones that you look back and you say, thank you. At least that's what I hear, right? Is that you've learned some things and you've had some rigor and you've pushed through, but then you also see where it applies all of a sudden, like it makes sense. Like, okay, I kind of understand now why we had to go through that. And so hopefully that's true. What would you say, Braden, was your most difficult class?
Definitely chemistry. Chemistry all the way.
All right.
Mrs. Fisk really helped me, though, through the year.
That's awesome. What would you say are some of the spiritual highlights or benefits of a Christian school Bible class, chapel, just the atmosphere, spiritually. What would you say, Braden, to if you were talking to someone about difference between Christian school and maybe whether it's public school or just another private school that's not a Christian school? Where do you feel like you benefit or appreciated looking back? You're not graduated yet, but running down that last sprint here spiritually.
So one thing that's really helped me is the chapel services that we have every week. I'm a big music guy, so whenever we have those songs that we sing, I don't just sing the songs because it's a good tune. The words in the songs are really meaningful, and then the message after have helped me a lot. And the staff at Calvary they're just really down to earth people, and they're always trying to help you figure out whatever you need to figure out. They're always trying to help you, and they care about you. It's really just one big family.
What would you say, Chloe, spiritually, what's been a highlight or a help or an encouragement?
Yeah, I appreciate the teachers. Mainly, I've been able to go to some teachers even this year and just say, hey, I have this thing I need prayer for. And they'll say, oh, yeah, like what time? And then I'll let them know. And then the next day they'll like run to me and be like, hey, like, how did this go? How did your interview go? And just like knowing I can go to those teachers and they genuinely like care about me this year, but like I know they'll be praying for me even after this year.
That's great.
So,
yeah. How about you, Gracie?
Definitely to piggyback off of Chloe, definitely with like the going to teachers, talking to them coming back and saying, hey, I prayed for you. How did this go? But ultimately, Calvary has strengthened my faith and made me want to share the gospel more and it not just be like, oh, it's just mine. I want to stay in my own little bubble, but definitely that.
Well, before we have the other two students come up, I want to ask you one kind of last question, put you on the spot a little bit. But if you were talking to a family or a student that was looking at maybe coming to Calvary, maybe not, there's lots of options out there for parents for educating their kids and such, and they were looking at Calvary on the list, what would you tell them as the reason or the reasons that they should consider Calvary as an option? And so, Gracie, what would you say? You're all of a sudden the student liaison, and the parent says, well, tell me about your experience. Why would you recommend Calvary if you would?
Definitely, we have good academics, good teachers that care about you. They want you to succeed. Definitely, we learn the gospel. We're given good information about the gospel. We're able to understand it, chew it. Just overall, a great atmosphere to be in, talk to kids. Yeah.
Great. That's a great answer. I don't know what you're going to say, so I'm like waiting. Chloe, what do you think?
I think that there's a mix of like every aspect of school that is appealing for someone that's looking at it. The teachers, the academics, the sports program. I think everything points to Christ and everything that the school does. So I think that's like a big green flag if you're looking for a school.
Braden, what do you think?
It's kind of repetitive, but I mean, you'll be taken care of if you come to the school. If you're struggling with something, it doesn't matter if it's the student body, staff, Mr. Perry. They'll come and help you.
Perry, the resource officer.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
for those that don't know.
Just like I said earlier, down-to-earth people, they care about you, they love you, and the academics are also phenomenal here.
Well, I'm glad to hear you guys say that. I didn't know what you'd say. It put you on the spot a little bit. And I think those things are true. But, of course, I would not be in the right position if I didn't think well of the school as the head of school. But to hear you as students share some of these things is encouraging. And I'm blessed by your testimonies and the fact that you guys want to go on and serve the Lord. And we're going to keep cheering you on. And hopefully someday you'll come back to homecoming as alumni, as graduates, and share what God's doing in your lives. And maybe someday your kids will go to Calvary. Who knows? We have plenty of kids of graduates that are at the school. And so we'll see what the Lord does. But thanks for joining me. And we're going to swap out here, and we're going to grab a couple more of your classmates, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, Welcome back. We are going to film our second half of our episode here, and I've got with me our king and queen from our homecoming court. I've got over here, we've got Mr. Sunshine himself, all right, Noah Callison, and then next to him is Allison Barker, and we're excited for both of you. And as we did with the others, tell me a little bit about how you came to the school and what that story was like. Allison, we'll let ladies go first.
Oh, good.
So, Allison, how did you get to Calvary, and what did that look like for you and your family?
Yeah, so I homeschooled all the way up through 8th grade till when I started coming part-time, halfway through 8th grade. And
So what does part-time mean? Like, for those that don't know, like, how do you go to school part-time? What is?
Yeah, so well, I was looking for a math class because math was not going well at home. And so I started coming halfway through 8th grade for math. And the rest of the classes I was still taking homeschool.
Yeah, so we kind of offer a la carte classes for students in the community that want to do that. And so we call it a part-time student. So they're there for maybe a class, sometimes 2 or 3 or 4.
Yep.
And they take those classes. So you started out as a part-time student in 8th grade.
Yep.
And then transitioned
To full-time in 10th grade.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that transition for you.
Yeah, it was. I honestly think it wasn't too much of like a difference because I had been involved in a co-op, so I was used to doing quite a few of the things that we did at school. It was just a little bit bigger of an environment, of course, but it was a pretty smooth transition for me, honestly.
Yeah. And Noah, tell me a little bit about your schooling story. I already know it, but I want to hear it from your version.
So growing up at around age 5, I think my parents decided to bring me to Calvary.
So you came in as a kindergartner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who was your kindergarten teacher?
Mrs. Tomko.
All
And
right.
in my opinion, she's my favorite. Thank you, Mrs. Tomko. So,
Mrs. Tomko is your favorite kindergarten. It's the only one you had.
yeah, right.
But you think she's the
She's
best.
one of the best teachers I've
I
had.
think you're probably right.
So,
she's awesome.
very
now she's the
kind.
preschool director, so she must have
Yes.
done something right. That's awesome.
Very true.
So you've been in school all the way through since kindergarten, and both of you are the oldest. So both of you will be the first to graduate from not just Calvary, from high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other 2 young ladies both had siblings that graduated before them, and then Braden as well. His sister graduated before him. So you guys are a little unique in that you're the firstborns, the oldest. So a little pressure there. So your mom is going to need some tissue.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had that already?
Yes, already.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of this is the last time this is the last time, right? Yeah, that's pretty normal there. So Noah, you've been here your whole life. What would you look back on? What were some of the highlights of your time as a student? Because you were there for preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school, the whole thing.
Yeah. I would say definitely the elementary principal, Mrs. Reese. She was one of my favorite people. Getting to go to the office and having her come out. And
Getting
help
to
you
go to
out.
the office or having to go to the office?
Not on purpose, just being able to walk in and actually talk to her. It was just, those are the memories I remember. And actually being with your friends and all that during recess, as Braden said, and all that. So
Yeah. How about you, Allison? It's been a little shorter run, so we're not going all the way back to kindergarten. But what would you say are some of the highlights of your time at Calvary?
Being a part of the soccer team has been like my favorite
Very
thing,
cool.
probably. Yeah, it's just been such good relationships have been built on that team. So
Yeah. So what was the first year you played soccer?
I started in 8th grade when I first started coming
As a
part-time.
part-time student. You very cool. So this will be the last run.
Yeah, so sad.
Very, very cool. When I think of both of you, I talked to you about this before. Tell me about the time, Noah. We'll talk to you a little bit. Tell me about the time when you wanted to leave Calvary, not just Calvary, you want to leave school.
Yeah.
And what was going on. And I think it's a kind of a neat story to think of where you're at today. But tell me a little bit about that.
yeah, so coming out of elementary from 6th grade into 7th grade, it was kind of a difficult time. I would definitely say the first part of 7th grade was really fine. Like, you're just getting into the movement of it, going on with it. But getting into second semester after your first set of exams and actually stepping back in and moving on, that was difficult for me. To be honest, I don't know why, but I broke. And I dealt with anxiety a lot and not completing work. And eventually I'd realize that not doing work just led to more work. So I just created more anxiety and stress for myself.
Yeah.
But-
Conflict with mom and dad,
Exactly.
conflict with school.
Yep.
And to the point you were struggling to come to school regularly. There was some attendance, I remember those days, right? I was the principal.
Yep.
And it was out of character for you in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And having those conversations. And, you weren't that abnormal, Noah. That was post-COVID a little bit. And the anxiety and such a lot of kids, struggle with and that you went through. And it's exciting for me to see you as now a senior and how you and your parents and the school worked together and navigated that transition in 7th grade and 8th grade and, get you back on track and to see you go forward and now grow and for your classmates to select you as their homecoming king.
Yeah.
That 7th grader that barely made it through and wanted to give up. And it's cool to see how God does that, right?
Exactly.
And so I'm thankful for that. And you had similar but different time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, even before I started in 8th grade, I was hoping my parents would let me go from homeschooling to Midland High, just because I already had friends there and everything, and I wanted to kind of get out of the bubble I was already, in as a homeschooler, and I was like, I feel like I'm just going into a whole nother bubble. But I really was trying to leave after 9th grade to go full-time at Midland, and that would have then compromised, my mom's job as a secretary in the office.
Sure.
And so, I didn't want to take that away from her, but so I ended up staying, full-time 10th grade in Calvary. But I don't know, it was difficult because I really did want to, change it up a little bit and stuff, and I wasn't able to do that. But I think through my time here at Calvary, I've learned to make the most of where God's placed me and to not let my plans, get in the way of his.
Yeah. And I think you shared a little bit in your testimony that some of the motivations in some of those decision-making moments weren't always necessarily the best. And looking back and saying, had that gone my way, what may have been, right? Not for sure. It's not all doom and gloom, but there's some reality checks that you go, I don't know that my heart was always in the right place in trusting parents and trusting God and to see, like I said, the same thing for you to come full circle to, I observe an attitude change where you want to be here and are excited about it. And then to be honored in the way that you have been as homecoming queen. That's cool. That's exciting to see how God does those things. Now that you've been at Calvary for high school, guys, I asked the others the same thing. What would you say is the most difficult academic piece for you? What was the hardest?
Chemistry was definitely the hardest for me.
Yeah.
I did take speech and logic previously homeschooling, so I didn't have to deal with that in 10th grade.
Yeah, you just kind of cheated.
Yeah, so I had a honestly pretty easy 10th grade year, but 11th grade got me with chemistry. I was like, no, thank you.
No, what about you?
Yeah, I would say chemistry was kind of difficult for me, but coming from the viewpoint of I can actually work on it and improve, that helped me out. Yeah. I know a lot of students weren't the same way, so that I tried to influence other students, but they got their quirks too. So
yeah, some of the things we have at Calvary, not everybody's aware of. Some of the things like in the high school, students are able to take classes dual enrollment, so they can take classes at Delta or other colleges and universities, not just Delta, though Delta's the most popular choice because it's close. We have students that graduate with anywhere from 10, 12, 30 credits from college. We have students that are taking some Teachers for Tomorrow, and I know that some of the students are doing that, so they get opportunities they're basically learning what it's like to be a teacher, and they get college credit for that class, kind of like an introduction to education credit before they head to college. And then, Noah, you're doing something unique. You're working on a program where you're getting some trades skills. So tell me a little bit about that program. What does that look like?
So I started back in August, the end of August, at trade school over at Greater Michigan Construction Academy. I am currently learning to become an electrician.
Nice.
So at first I had to do a core class, which is like basic construction. You can figure out what path you want to take, whether it be an electrician or a pipe fitter or instrument tech, anything like that.
Yeah.
So you had all that time, but you're learning construction as you go. And then you'll get your certification for OSHA, which I did. That was a 12-hour class, but that's beside the point. So now towards Christmas, I was able to get into the electrical class, and I'm now in electrical 1. So the next couple years, I'll be taking electrical 1, electrical 2, and then I'll kind of be into apprenticing, and then eventually into a journeyman, maybe a master. So
This is just a start for you, and then it carries on after you graduate, and you want to pursue a career in this, at least see what it's like and move that direction.
Yeah.
So your lawn mowing business is just the side hustle.
yes, sir. I'm hoping eventually I'll grow it into a bigger business.
Yeah.
Not like Reader, of course, but something that's decent and I can make money on the side.
Yeah. How many lawns do you do in the summer?
So currently I service about 8 to 10.
Okay.
And I also kind of work with Schwarzkopf and other little businesses here and there, just helping them out. So
Yeah. Braden probably needs a lot of help.
Oh.
from what I-
sometimes, yeah.
So, in the other little known thing about Noah, maybe it's known, Noah's on the snow crew. So
Yeah.
when you come in and the sidewalk shoveled, it's thanks to Noah. So if you don't know, Noah's nickname is Sunshine. Why do you think you have that nickname? In fact, you know what? Don't even answer. I'm gonna ask your classmate here. I'm gonna ask her.
Boy.
Why does everybody call him Sunshine?
Well, he's just so bright,
He's so bright.
Yeah.
He's always happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it.
No, it is weird. Like you're always happy no matter what.
Yeah.
You're positive,
Yeah.
and it's weird in a
Yeah.
good way though. It's a good weird, and
Yes, it is.
we appreciate that about you. That's probably why you're homecoming king, right?
I guess.
So
I give credit to Tyler for that name.
Tyler?
Yes,
Shout out
came
to
up with
Tyler.
it.
Thank you.
Tyler gave you that.
He did.
I didn't even know that.
So
Yeah.
he can tell you the story about it
He
sometime.
doesn't know
It's-
English, but he can.
Yeah, he just looked
You
up
know.
a picture, seen it, and he looked at me and called me that. And
Yeah,
it's
I mean
just
that was
stuck.
years ago. That's when he first came, right?
Well, it
wasn't
was 10th grade, yeah.
10th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tyler stayed at our house. I know.
Yeah, yeah.
He knows English when he needs
Yes,
it.
he does.
He doesn't know English when it's and that's
Yeah.
going out to the podcast there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like suddenly I understand, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a trick, right? We know how it works.
Yeah.
Allison, what would you say are your plans here post college? We heard a little bit about what Noah's doing and his trade school and such. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I am currently working with a team in Nashville to pursue a singing career. Hopefully, singing and songwriting are two of
Yeah.
my big passions, and so in the Christian music industry too. And so, that's something that I don't necessarily know the timing of when like things will start to go in motion. Like right now, I'm just kind of training my voice and writing songs. Hoping to get
Yeah.
that one hit that we'll record eventually. But the team will stick with me until I get there. And for now, I'm just gonna keep working. And I've been looking into some like Bible like gap years, and so maybe
Okay.
that'll happen. But I'm not super sure right now.
Yeah. Well, whatever God does in our lives, that reminder, even we talked about with the other students about sports and how even that is given to us that we can use it to glorify Him and to worship. And so music's an obvious one that we can use to worship and glorify God. But trades, the skills God gives us, using those to glorify Him and to be faithful. We have a portrait of a graduate that we have a desire for all of our graduates that graduate from Calvary Baptist Academy, that they would know what they believe, that they would know why they believe it, and they would be able to communicate it effectively, that they would be people that as they have their own families, that they would be discipling their own families and raising them to know and love Christ as well, that they be active in their local churches, serving the Lord and making disciples in that way. As you think about that, you maybe don't think about it as much, but now you're a senior and we're putting in front of you. That's what we're looking for you down the road. And that's our goal. How would you say Calvary's prepared you for that? Like, what do you think spiritually and otherwise? How do you feel prepared to step out into the world and to be a difference maker for Christ? Noah, how would you answer that?
I know throughout the years, especially in high school, getting up into the higher levels of academics definitely has improved my knowledge, which that's what school's for. But also, and I've heard this said before from teachers at Calvary, the main point is not just academics. It's growing you in your faith. And that's what Calvary's all about. Growing you in your faith, getting you closer to God necessarily. So
Yeah. I think the Bible classes in general have really helped me, and especially like 11th and 12th grade, looking in on apologetics. I've really enjoyed that, and it's like stirred more in me wanting to know like, deeper things and like how to defend my faith once I go out from high school.
So you had to do that project today and give an oral presentation, right? What was your argument that you were working on?
There was personal experience and Pascal's wager.
Pascal's wager. That's a deep one. Noah, what did you have?
I had the, what was it? This is a brain fart, I know.
Man, you really learned that one well.
Yeah. I think it was a cosmological.
Oh, yeah.
argument.
Cosmological.
Yeah. That because things exist, they have a beginning, and that beginning is caused by a creator, and therefore the creator, in our case, is God, who created everything.
Close, right?
Almost. Yeah.
Everything that exists has a beginning.
Everything that exists, yeah.
And yes. And so who is the creator? Very good. Cosmological argument. And we've been spending some time learning on some of the arguments for the existence of God, even. And then also we'll be looking at, and we have been through the years, studying how we know the Bible's reliable and trustworthy. How do we know Jesus Christ is who he said he was? And so, developing a personal conviction for why we believe what we believe. But then also that piece of helping students understand and realize the opportunities to share that with others. That's where Choir Drama Tour comes in, just getting us out there and talking to other people, even if it's other Christian schools sometimes. But even in athletics, we play other schools, public schools and such, and looking for opportunity to rub shoulders with people who maybe don't believe the same thing and having those conversations. And how do we navigate those things? But let me give you one last chance to share something from your time at Calvary. You mentioned already Mrs. Tomko. Are there any other people that you would say were influential during your time at Calvary? It doesn't have to be a teacher. It could be a teacher, a coach, just anyone associated with the school that you appreciate and had a influence or was an encouragement to you. What would be somebody or someone plural that you might?
I would go back to 7th grade when I was going through all that. Definitely you were a big part, so I just want to thank you out loud. Thank you for all that you did for me. That really helped, having those conversations and such. I would also say the teachers during that time too. They kind of went through a deal, along with doing all their work, having to deal with me. So whoever was teaching then, I just want to say thank you for praying for me and being there. That was a rough time, but yeah, especially like people like Mrs. Small, she was praying, Coach V, and others. So,
Allison, how about you?
Yeah, I would say probably my soccer coach, Coach Eric. He's just been like there for me through some of there was just some weird like team dynamics previously in some other years.
Sure.
And, I've gone to him about it, and he's been super like understanding and has like helped me work through like some of the like relationships that were going on there. And I think that was super cool. And he, when I was a captain last year, he had me do a devotion, and I think that he helped me like go out of my comfort zone, but also like given me the opportunity to lead my peers as well.
That's awesome. So we're coming off of Spirit Week. You guys were homecoming king and queen. Fun experience. What would you tell upcoming students coming along about Spirit Week? What's your favorite parts of Spirit Week, and what advice would you give around that? What do you like about Spirit Week, Allison?
I would definitely say get involved with the wall decorating. Like, it's a long process, but it really is fun, and you get to connect with your peers so like in such fun ways.
Don't be lame.
Yes, don't just stay home when you could be there.
Yeah, don't be lame.
It's so fun.
I was lame this year, but I was sick a little bit. I felt lame. I showed up and then was like, this is not. There's enough parents. I'm out. I'm gonna crash. And I got sick, and then everybody started following lately.
Oh, yeah.
But I was ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I was a leader. Mm-hmm. But yeah, don't be lame. Get involved.
No, yes.
exactly.
Get involved. What about you, Noah? What would you say? You can't say that now. Can't say what she said.
I would say, I know personally, I've never been one for like casual days or anything like that, especially dressing up. But when it comes to homecoming points for your team and all that, team referring to your class, you got to be involved. You got to actually do your part and be with them.
And it's fun.
Exactly. You can make it fun.
Yeah. We get so stuck on ourselves sometimes, right?
Exactly.
So, got to talk to that Schwarzkopf guy about that sometime, right? No, he was all in. I saw him. One day was a little weak, but mostly good. So, well, shout out to senior class one last time. Good job, guys. You won the Spirit Banner, and we took second place on the wall. But I felt like we still kind of won the wall since my face was on it. So I feel like that's still a win, right? Like,
Was it on our wall?
no, on the juniors.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that one.
Or
yeah.
no,
They
was
did.
it whatever wall it was? I don't know.
Yes.
We're all winners. Everyone's
You know
a winner. No, the junior wall didn't have it. They had
I think it was 10th grade.
it was the 10th grade
Yes,
wall. Yeah,
they had your
the
face.
junior wall had the flag and everything.
The flag.
Yeah, you're right.
They had the
So
whole
well,
United
I guess I lost.
Yeah,
then.
it's okay.
But we won what mattered.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks again for listening, and this has been a fun episode as we got to meet some of our seniors, some of our students. I thought it'd be great for you as whether you're a parent, whether you're a current student, prospective students, families, to hear a little bit from our students. Because, of course, I could tell you all these things about why our school is so great and why we're excited about what God's been doing at Calvary. But to hear from present students how the Lord's working and how he's used the school is always encouraging. So we will end this episode. But as we say every single time, make sure you subscribe so that you'll get alerts when a new episode releases and you'll never miss an episode of the Lions Roar podcast. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.